Time for your COVID-19 questions. With parts of the country slowly reopening, your questions keep coming in. So joining me tonight to help answer them, infectious diseases specialist, Dr. Isaac Bogosh. Dr. Bogosh, let's get started. And here's a big question to start things off. Is it safe for so many provinces to be reopening?
Yeah, I think it is. It just has to be done carefully and, of course, at the right time. And we know certain provinces are farther along than others. Just for example, New Brunswick is much farther along than many other places. And I think in many places that are farther along, it is safe to reopen. It just has to be done in a very careful, slow, gradual manner. And any place that's reopening, I think people have to be aware that you might move one or two steps forward, but if there's an unacceptably high number of new cases, you might take a couple of steps backwards as well.
Right, and that takes us to the second question. Will there be a second lockdown?
Yeah, a lot of that is completely dependent on us. And if we really adhere to the physical distancing measures in this new normal, as we gradually shift that dial or that dimmer switch towards fewer and fewer public health restrictions, if we are still able to maintain physical distancing and practice good hand hygiene, we will hopefully be able to avoid a second lockdown. But if people are clustering together, and if we see, pockets of infection and these pockets start spreading to other places, we might see a second lockdown. I think we all have to be mindful that that is a very real possibility.
But so in terms of adjusting to the new normal, here's another question that came in. At the grocery store, which is safer, cashier or self-checkout? And that's sort of an interesting question, right? Because one option, I suppose you're coming into closer proximity with people. The other one, you're using a high-touch device.
Yeah, I think people might argue with me on this one, but I honestly feel like we're splitting hairs here and that either is going to be totally acceptable as long as we adhere to these principles of good hand hygiene. And as long as, once you've completed the transaction, you go about your way, but you make sure that you wash your hands. And even in the checkout aisles, we're seeing plastic shields that are in place that are really protecting employees and also protecting customers as well. So I think that either or is going to be just fine as long as people are still adhering to their principles of hand hygiene and physical distancing as much as we possibly can.
All right. Good questions, good answers. Dr. Bogosh, thanks again.
Have a good one.